Shay's review of the first day of practice was competitive and composed, and I was just wondering if you either had any examples or thoughts on that.
It was competitive. I thought the guys played hard. There's definitely a pop in the gym. People were excited to be back. It wasn't a masterpiece in terms of execution, but it usually isn't. So, good starting point, gives us a place to work from, and now we'll just work to get better, when we come back tonight and tomorrow.
What have been your initial impressions of Dylan Jones and just what you've been able to see from him so far on the floor?
He's a hard-playing guy. He's a really unique, physique. He's strong, and low center of gravity. He's got to learn how to leverage that defensively with his physicality, because he's got a chance to be a pretty impactful defender because of his strength and just how low to the ground he is. But he's really got to learn how to do that. And then offensively, he's a pretty complete player. He can make a shot. He's a good ball handler, a good passer. He's learning the system and the offense. So things, I think, are moving quickly for him, and as well as anybody else that's new. But, good start out of him.
Did the quality of depth stand out today?
It was competitive practice. I'm excited about our depth. I'm excited about our players. I'm not sure I learned anything new about that today, but I thought it was, like I said, a competitive practice. All three teams were competitive.
Well, I don't know how much you were maybe in the gym with, either of Caruso or Hardenstein this summer, but now seeing them today, just what do they look like within the team defense? I know it's a long process, but what's the outlook there as far as how they're being implemented right now?
I thought, everybody kind of seamlessly fit in. We did a lot of playing today, as we normally do in training camp, and no one stood out in terms of not knowing what's going on. I mean, the defensive schemes are not far off from the base from other teams, and offensively, I think they had enough of a sense from the summertime and the build-up in September that they knew what was going on, so I thought they did a nice job.
I asked Shay the same question. One day, sample size is really small, but what's one or two things that just really stuck out to you too?
I think it's just good to have everybody back in. It's really not a lot of major takeaways. Takeaways come when you have a body of work, and we're very far away from that right now. So we're just trying to get the foundation laid in terms of our identity and the habits we need to have. Like I said, it wasn't a perfect practice, but it was a good starting point.
You look at 1 through 18, it seems like everybody can shoot it, everybody defends, everybody can make good passes. What's your take on just sort of the interchangeability of those skill sets and kind of having everybody have those types of skill sets?
Yeah, basketball's it's a complex game. It's difficult to be good in a game like that when you don't have multi skills, and we have a lot of guys that have those things, and so it gives us a lot of flexibility systematically. It gives us a lot of flexibility with the lineups we can put on the court, and that flowers from the guys being able to do a lot of different things in a game where you have to do a lot of different things well in order to be good.
Have you seen a change in leadership style from Lou and Shay from when you first got here to now?
Certainly since then. They're older. Shay's a dad, and they're 25 years old or whatever. They've got years and miles in the league, and so they definitely have come into their own as people, and I think that's shown itself in their leadership. But the most important part of their leadership is how they walk and how they act and the way they behave. We always talk about the leader being the person doing the right thing, and those guys are so consistently embodying the things we want to be about. That's been a powerful source of leadership, but it's one that they're not giving any speeches today, but it accumulates over time, and they've built a tremendous amount of credibility inside the building because of that.
What was it like to have Alex under your direction again?
Good. It's finally good to get him back under control. No, he's great. He had a good day.
Mark, have you seen any immediate changes in Shay? I know you mentioned fatherhood. Just immediate changes, since he had his son.
Ask him. It changes your life. I can speak from my own experience there, but he's the same guy. Lou, these guys, Kenrich Williams, these guys that have been here for a while, they've been the same people. That's what makes them so impactful. Isn't what they do on a single day or in a single moment, but the cumulative effect of how consistently they are who they are and how authentic they are to that. That's what makes them great. And I'm sure, fatherhood will change his perspective as it does for all of us that have had that experience.
Sam also said that Shay was the same person from when you first got here till now. How much easier does that make your job as a head coach?
Well, first of all, that I agree with Sam on that, and it's also worth noting that the environment around him has changed drastically, and yet that has not, he's unwavering in who he is, which is a real credit. That's the NBA. Environment is a tidal wave. You gotta really stand in there to be unchanging the way that he has. So it's very impressive that he's been able to stay so true to who he is. And yeah, I mean, not only him, but this is a very easy team to coach because they're serious professionals. They love the game. They want to compete. They want to do it inside the team. There's really nothing that we're bringing to them that feels like a sell job. It feels like you're having to drag them along. They're very much naturally aligned with what we want to be about. And the guys that have been here the longest, Lou Shea, Kenrich Williams, they really are in lockstep with that, and it certainly puts me and everybody else that works here in a position of strength.
Mark, you mentioned wanting Dylan to be able to leverage his weight to become an impactful defender. I guess what are the conversations like in terms of his playing weight? Whether you want to sacrifice some of that for that leverage, what the balance there?
Yeah, it's a good question actually. It's a strength thing, not a weight thing. So more focused on strength. I mean, we try to lean into the natural, who the players naturally are and their natural strengths. Our strength staff does an unbelievable job of assessing what a player is capable of in terms of strength and also mobility, and then working with the player. I mean, the best source of information is the player themselves, and saying, hey, what do you want to play at? How do you feel with this weight off of you, or how do you feel with this weight on you? Now, with a guy like Dylan or AJ or any of these new players, they don't know yet. So a lot of this period of time on the court and off the court is them getting acclimated and us, kind of assessing that process and seeing where they're at. That's why I'm always trying to zoom out to the bigger picture. We want to jump to conclusions on day one, but you have to allow, things to unfold and see what Dylan Jones looks like on the court and how he feels at the weight he's at and the strength he's at, and then play it from there. And that's what we'll do with him as we do with every player.
With a lot of these scrimmages just early on in training camp, how do you sort of balance when to step in and correct those small mistakes and then just sort of letting things play out and just observe?
I lean more towards observation early in the camp because number one, you could be correcting every single movement right now. It's we're not sharp, nor is any team on the first day. So a lot of it's let them get out there, let them compete, let them feel the ball again. They're excited too. I'm trying not to blunt their excitement by overcoaching, and then we'll take the feedback and we just try to get better practice by practice rather than trying to solve every problem in real time. And I think it creates a better flow in the practice. They enjoy it more. I mean, they don't want to be listening to me any more than they have to.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.